Have you ever ridden a motorcycle or know anyone that has? My entire life has, for the most part, evolved around riding and racing dirt bikes. I was entered in my first race at a young age of 5 and continued to race late into my teens. Throughout my personal experience in the sport, I have known many people that have been seriously injured and even killed while riding. That's why today I'm here to talk to you about the use of neck braces and why they should be made mandatory in the racing community. Today I will be going over the history of how neck braces started, how they work, why they are helpful to the common rider, along with why they should now be used in all professional races around the world. This right here is a neck brace. Very simple, just goes over your head, clips back on. As Backcountry Caribou's website says, dirt bike crashes can be pretty brutal, especially when you're racing on the track or are just getting on the bike for the first time. So why not wear a neck brace? So without further ado, let us begin at the beginning of the neck braces and their development in the sport. Motocross itself has a long lineage of development, and while safety gear always comes a little later, the development of a neck brace came almost 70 years after racing began. Most people that have ridden dirt bikes before would be able to tell you that when you get in the unfortunate motocross accident, the first thing to hit the ground is generally your head. So with that knowledge, it makes perfect sense that the development of a neck brace would be inevitable. The history of motorcycle neck braces were invented by a clever man called Dr. Christopher Liet, and his first patent was filed in 2003. Liet invented the neck brace after watching his son racing motocross and witnessing the tragic death of another competitor. That is from Biker Rated's article from 2019. Neck braces began as a simple design with a piece of foam just around the neck and sat on the individual's shoulder. There eventually became a hard plastic mold that was used to make the foam brace sit on the shoulders correctly, centrally, and not bounce around for added comfort. This hard plastic was used to help distribute the forces that used to be placed on the shoulders or neck by spreading them to other parts of the body, restricting the movement altogether. This use of hard plastic has also slowly evolved the neck brace into a smaller, stronger, but more efficient piece of equipment. The science behind the usefulness of the neck brace has come from years of research and development, but has ultimately helped in making more efficient piece of safety equipment. While the development of the neck brace for motocross was a slow process, at least we have them today, and this is how they work. The concept of how motocross neck brace works is actually quite simple. It sits on your upper chest and back and limits the movement of your head during a crash. This is done to prevent spinal cord injury. The human vertebrae is actually quite strong. However, the spinal cord is not. The spinal cord is where you find nerves and spinal fluid. That is according to motocrossadvice.com from a September 2019 article. As you could imagine, there is a good reason for the use of these neck braces in the motocross community. While even just riding recreational, I have fallen off my bike at speeds approaching 100 miles per hour. I have always worn a neck brace and strongly believe that I can still walk and talk to you all the way I do today because of this very reason of wearing the neck brace. Even though neck braces aren't so widely used in the motocross community yet, they definitely should have a place on every rider's shoulder. In my own experience, I have seen a few people I know personally who are no longer with us because while riding on dirt bike recreationally, they got in a head-on collision with another rider, and many others who have been partially paralyzed. While I know not every accident is avoidable, I believe that the very severe consequence of these accidents can greatly be reduced with the use of a neck brace. When it comes to racing, less and less professional and indeed amateur riders head out onto the starting gate without some kind of brace in place. The given terrain they are riding, then it seems a sensible step to take. Neck injuries are potentially life-threatening and certainly have a potential to be life-changing. So take steps to minimize the risk is a smart move. That is from an article from Rider Expeditions they did in November of 2017. While many people still believe that they do not need to wear these neck braces, it is no surprise that they are slowly becoming more and more popular, something I truly believe is for the better. Motocross neck braces have become quite popular with motocross racers and riders over the last 10 years. As time has went on, these motocross neck protectors have evolved quite a bit. From the original neck donut days, they are becoming lighter, more durable, and more comfortable to ride with. That is according to motocrossadvice.com, their buyer's guide of January 2020 article. With the popularity growing consistently for the last 10 years, it feels that the protective gear is no longer on an incline in its use. In other words, I believe it is not becoming increasingly popular anymore, which is quite a shame because I believe that it should be required for all riders, especially young riders of our sport. The use of neck brace would be even more popular if the professional riders that all of us amateurs idolize were required to wear them. Today's pros are highlighted in social media, on podiums and stages before and after races. One thing lacking during most of what the viewers see is the wearing of these life-saving neck braces. If pros were required to wear these neck braces, it is my firm opinion and belief that they would then influence the youth and other riders will wear them as well. This hidden potential of media should be utilized to keep the sport as safe as possible for every rider. And that is exactly what they should do. Motocross safety equipment seems to be split into two categories: stuff everyone wears, stuff almost everyone wears. In the first category, you have boots, pants, gloves, helmet, jersey, and goggles. The stuff that has been around forever and every rider is just expected to wear it. In the second category, you have knee braces, neck braces, chest protectors, body armor, elbow pads, and even mouthpieces. This is stuff that is catching on, but certainly not every rider on the track is wearing. In the amateur ranks, I have to believe that if you are not wearing equipment that falls in the second category, it has to be because of cost. Why else would you not protect yourself to the fullest extent? At the pro level, the reasons are certainly not cost, but more on the lines of comfort, vanity. The pros look at their equipment more as insurance policies with variable premiums, and the more you wear, the higher cost in the form of restriction, weight, and heat. This quote comes to us from one of the sport's legends. He's not a rider, but just a trainer, one of the best trainers in the sports who has led many riders to acquiring their titles with his grueling training. This man's name is Alden Baker, and he said this in an article from Racer X way back in 2011. At the time of this article, neck braces weren't as sophisticated variable for the rider as they are today. Today there are many different styles, feels, and models to pick from, all with more improved technology to help the riders stay put together correctly. Neck braces should be required in this sport because it is a high-speed, dangerous action sport that oftentimes causes serious injuries to the neck and all the parts that make up one's neck. I believe the associations of all professional motorsports should make neck braces a requirement to show up on the starting line, just as they did with helmets, boots, and all the other essential safety gear. With the information I've provided to you today, I hope that you too would join me in my belief that neck braces need to be required in all professional motorsports for the safety of those riders and to influence the influence they will possess with the youth of the sport. Neck braces were developed with simple ambition to help save riders and their ways of life and have slowly developed into extremely safe, lightweight, protective equipment, thus making them extremely useful pieces of gear that can and should be used for all levels of riders. And finally, for all of the reasons I had just listed, they should now utilize in all professional aspects of racing. Clearly, the neck brace is there to protect the neck in the event of an accident. That is from a Rider Expeditions webpage article of November 2017. And this is where I will leave you. If it is clearly used to help the individual, then why is it not required for safety of all riders in the sport? So please, if you find yourself throwing a leg over a bike, invest in your safety and get a neck brace.